As you can see, it's a huge room. We do expect people to kind of keep showing up, but I believe in getting started on time. You guys have sat in here for like the last 20 minutes, so you've probably read the slide and you guys signed up for it. But I'll still say it. My name's Sean Wargo. I'm a principal engineer with Cisco. I've been with Cisco since 1999, so you can do some quick math there. I mainly work in routing and switching, so like a campus background. Why did they get this joker to do this session? And so, with that, I've done like, massive deployments. I'm not going to list customer names, but I've done, 100,000 user network designs. And it occurred to me, seeing different sessions, talking to different people, that, we want to jump right into like a very specific design. This is customer X design, and we're going to tailor this to customer X, right? And we sort of lose the fundamentals, we lose the basics. And I know, of course, right, new people always joining, we just assume that they've somehow absorbed all this knowledge and you can just drop right in and start building networks, right? So it became clear to me very quickly that we needed to go back to basics, right? So if you read the abstract, this is not a design expert session. In fact, this is the opposite. This is truly about fundamentals. And I'm also a believer in bottoms up, right? If you want to build that super customized design for customer X, cool, and he's going to have very specific requirements, but that foundation, that's, basic network design, throughput, why do I choose this box, why do I choose that box, those fundamentals will always be true, okay? So that was the basic purpose of this session. I was telling the guys in the front row, I like to walk around. In fact, I would have walked with you, but the clicker has kind of a limited range. That's what I'm facing now. So even more, I'm just going to stand here and hit the arrow button. Of course, there is a WebEx room. I am personally in it. I have a couple of my friends in there, all senior engineers. So if you guys have questions, I'm not going to have all the time in the world during the session. I do ask people to, try to keep questions brief. You get it. There's 600 people in here, right? And usually I will hang out in the hallway afterwards. If everybody has that question about customer X, like, hey, I have this exact design. Can you please explain this one to me? But let's save that question for in the hallway, okay? So first and foremost, what is a campus? And again, it's remedial. This is like basic stuff. We say these words, we say campus all the time. But what does it actually mean? And why is a campus network different than a data center network or service provider? What's the difference between a headquarters building and a branch? And these kind of, they're words, but do we really know what the word means and what it implies about the design? So it's remedial, yes, but it has a very specific purpose. So once you appreciate what a campus is, then it's like, okay, how many users are there? What's the scale, right? Is it going to be layer 2 based? So I need MAC address scale. Is it going to be routed? So I need ARP and route scale, and so on. Based on those users, it's going to be 1 tier, it's going to be 2 tiers, 3 tiers. When should I use a 4-tier network, right? So it's really about scale, performance, and these metrics. And again, the box. I should have said this. I'm a Cisco guy. I'm here to sell you boxes, okay? Anybody surprised that I'm here to sell boxes? Okay. But all the time, right, the boss is pressuring you. You've got a budget for this quarter, and he wants you to buy the cheap box. I'll tell you right now. He wants you to buy the cheap box. And you need to, rationalize to the boss, hey, look, we've got this many users, they're going to have this kind of performance. You know what, boss? I need this other model. And so my goal is really to enable you to have that argument with me, okay? And that's going to be the bulk, the main part of the session is actually those first 2 parts, okay? And just talking through a 2-tier network, talk to a 3-tier network. Why do you do this? What's a core box? What's an access box? Once those fundamentals are in place, then you start to layer things on. Say, okay, well now why would I do different redundancy and load sharing designs? So equal cost multipath versus a stack-wise or like a clustering kind of design, right? But it's with the fundamentals of it's still a core layer, it's still an access layer, and those principles in place, right? And then finally, now I have this what we call overlay networks. Okay, this is fundamental, so I'll also be like over-explaining some things. People are like, yeah, I know what that is, but I'm over-explaining it for the folks that are new. So in the olden days, MPLS, which is multi-protocol label switching, I also hate that we use acronyms. Like Cisco is like a language by itself. Hopefully, you know what the acronym is. Um, the idea was, first and foremost, multi-protocol, but label switching. So what they wanted is they wanted to take their layer 3 routing, but make it behave like a switching network, using labels as the identifier. So what we created was this, what we call overlay. You have the actual transport or underlay network, and then you do something over the top, and all of your, magical security and quality of service is actually, in fact, in the overlay. Right? This is decades old. I hope people have heard of MPLS. But what's recent is things like BGP, EVPN, Ethernet, virtual private networking, and software-defined access based on VXLAN, the virtual extensible LAN. Okay. Now the last piece